good.
All right, so the thing is already recording, so that's, no problems there. Wow.
Great.
So everyone ready to just start, I guess?
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Hi, my name is Zoe, and I'm here with, as usual, Lizzy.
Hi. Sorry.
And we have two other guests today. We have Shay from the Elven Padawan.
Hi.
And also Vanessa Marshall, who
Hello.
is Hera from Star Wars Rebels.
Yay.
Just real quick, my brother and dad are here to say hi to.
Oh, great. Hi there.
Hey.
Hey. Happy Star Wars Day.
You know. Have fun.
Thank you.
Let's
Or
go.
actually, you can say it.
Yeah, so it is on the day we're recording this, May the 4th.
Yay, may the force be with you all.
So how is everyone celebrating Star Wars Day?
Well, so far I've been working, so I haven't had a chance to yet. I'm celebrating it by talking to you guys, so that works.
That's good. That's a good celebration.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do a whole lot this year. I'm just wearing my Star Wars shirt, and I spent most of the day blogging about Star Wars and tweeting about Star Wars, so.
Perfect. That works. That's great.
Last night I went to Disneyland, since I haven't been in a while, and went for Star Wars nights. That was pretty cool. We rode all the Star Wars rides, and we saw a panel talking about the Star Wars land coming and
Great.
fireworks. That was good. And then today, I went to school in some of my Sabine armor, and I went with my lightsaber and fought people.
Perfect. Well done. That's great.
I wear a Star Wars shirt like every day, but today I wore a Hera shirt, and I talked about Star Wars all day, which I do anyway too, I guess. But
That's so great. That makes me happy.
I also blasted my family with a playlist of Star Wars music, if that counts, so.
That's awesome.
yeah, I did. I listened to the Seagull song and the Saga Begins and the Chewbacca song all day.
Awesome. That's great. Very cool.
Yeah, I didn't listen to any music today.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Day, so may the 4th be with everyone.
Yay.
And so we have just some general Star Wars topics today for Star Wars Day on our notes.
Cool.
So when we have when everyone was first introduced to Star Wars.
When was I first introduced to Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was, let's see, it was a million years ago. I was in Colorado visiting my family, and my aunt took me to see the very first movie, and it changed my life. And every day I email her and thank her for introducing me to Star Wars. Yeah, so it was a nice family experience, and it continues to be. How about you?
I was first introduced, I don't even remember, because my parents just kind of raised me with it.
Yeah.
My dad says that I learned to, grip things as a baby on toy lightsabers.
Nice.
This has always been a part of my life.
That's so cool. What a great dad.
I guess for me, I was also just raised on it. Meeting my dad, and all he had was Star Wars movies and video games. So did that my whole life, and then he
Great.
bought Star Wars toys all the time.
Cool.
For me, I have that same kind of my whole life thing going on. I remember when I was I think like 2.5 or 3. Like I can faintly remember walking into our spare room where we had a big TV on the wall, and my dad was watching The Phantom Menace. And I remember what caught my attention was the Nemoidians and their green skin and all. And I was like captivated by that and Padme's cool hair and just dresses and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was obsessed for years, even though I didn't understand the ins and outs. And then it kind of faded out for me. I think I got scared by something and just like wasn't as into it. But then several years ago, I got back into it head first, and it's like been nonstop for me since then. So
that's great. That's wonderful.
All right. What else? We have what everyone's favorite character is. So I'll start. Mine is Ahsoka. I just fell in love with her immediately when I was little and watching Clone Wars.
Absolutely. It's kind of hard to choose one. You know, I love Princess Leia. I also have a soft spot for Chewie, and of course Ahsoka. And another character that I really love is Asajj Ventress from the Clone Wars. So I don't know. It's hard for me to narrow it down. Yeah, Snips is my favorite. I mean, you can't go wrong with Ahsoka. They're all great.
Yeah, it's so hard to choose.
There's so many.
I know.
I guess I'll just go with Sabine because I love her story. Her whole family's cool. Her art is amazing. Sometimes I relate to her, sometimes I don't, but it's still really cool. She's just awesome.
I agree.
I have a hard time choosing a favorite too. Normally when people ask me what my favorite is, I'm just like, well, from which movie? So
right, exactly.
I would say maybe I always used to say R2 just because he's in everything and I've always loved him. So I guess I'll go with R2, but I also have always loved Padme, and I'm coming to love Rey. And this sounds really, really, really fake for me to say this now in this conversation, but Hera is one of my top faves too. So.
Ah, well, that's awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool.
Lots of characters to celebrate in Star Wars, and then we also have just being females and just being in the Star Wars fandom because originally there weren't as many ladies in Star Wars, but now we have a lot more. Such as
Absolutely.
Hera.
That's right. Yep. Cool.
Ahsoka.
Yeah. I think definitely with the more recent Star Wars with Rebels and the sequel trilogy and Rogue One and now Solo, we're seeing a lot more women getting some spotlight, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Totally. I've seen a lot of people talk about how like they encountered a lot of pushback being female fans in the Star Wars fandom. And for me, fortunately, I never really experienced that, but I did always, a lot of times I'd end up playing with the boys because I was interested in all the stuff they were interested in, like Star Wars. But they never really seemed to resist that. They seemed to think it was cool that I liked the kind of stuff they liked instead of being into stuff that they didn't care for or whatever. So, like, they seemed to think it was cool that I liked Star Wars and they liked Star Wars. But it is really nice to see a lot more girls being more accepting of it and people being accepting of girls being in it in general.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's why it's so exciting for me to hear you guys talk about it. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just there's so many more girls now because like even when Clone Wars came out, like you didn't have as many female characters, like main characters to pick from if you wanted to, I don't know, love a female character. But now you have a lot of options, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Thank God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Vanessa, we had you on the show before. Rebels has progressed a lot since then.
Oh, I know, right? Crazy.
I think then we were asking you, like, how you felt about Hera being promoted to captain, and now you're a general.
I know. It's so cool. Yeah.
And you, there's a green-haired little child now as well.
I know. How crazy is that?
So
Seriously. Yeah, it's nuts.
I have a question. So I know Dave likes to keep things under wraps as far as the endings of stuff. So when did you like know everything that happened, like in the finale?
When I watched it for the first time at the fan screening.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I had no idea. No clue. The only person who knew was Tia, because she had recorded that monologue already. So, yeah,
wow.
So crazy. Yeah. But,
my mom is trying to get a baby now because
that's awesome.
I have plenty of little cousins. I'll just steal one and send it over. It's fine.
That's funny. Yeah, I had no idea, and at the fan screening, I was as shocked as everyone who was watching it live. Yeah.
That must have been interesting, just going in and all of a sudden, whoa, there's a kid.
Yeah, definitely. I really didn't know how to process it, and then we had to speak. There was a panel after the screening, and I was just like, I could barely talk. I mean, that's kind of huge information, you know?
Goodness.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, bananas, you know?
When we watched it for the first time, all my family, except for my mom, like all my sisters were watching it, and my dad was watching it with us, and he doesn't normally do that, but he was like, hey, I'll watch the last several episodes with y'all, because he watched the first couple of seasons with us, and we were all watching it, and we all went, what? And then like my sisters went, rewind it, watch it again, and I was just like, what? I don't know what's going on. My head just exploded.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I felt. Yeah, exactly.
I was watching the finale. It was lots of tears. I very much remember that, and I was very surprised. I didn't realize at first. I was like, why's that kid with her? And then it clicked, and I was like, oh.
That's so funny. Yeah. I just was wondering, like, does the kid doesn't have brain tails or laku? Like, it fired off like a million questions. Yeah. But
would have been cute if he was a little Twi'lek, but he's still cute anyway.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah.
I can't tell y'all how many like fan fictions I've read since then. Just like little short things like, oh, this is what he's like when he's older, and this is like what he's like when he's a kid and everything. And I'm like, I don't know, there's just so many different variations of him, and I'm like, I want one to become canon now, please.
Right, exactly.
I've seen some fun art of him, and he has like the Kanan like goatee and ponytail.
I've seen some of that.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's sad. He won't meet his father.
You don't know that, you know?
Well, the art is cool. It's not cool that he passed away. Yeah.
You know, Maul survived a bunch of stuff he should know, so Kanan could be fine, okay?
That's what I said.
So why would he not be there to support the family?
He's just a little lost. You know, he can't really see his way around. He's just a little lost.
He's not unblinded.
Well, then the explosion was so bright it re-blinded him.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of fan fiction surrounding that too.
Yeah.
He's okay.
What did they say?
Well, some said the world between worlds reopened and let them pull Kanan out, and some said that he went straight to be one with the Force like Luke did, and now Jason can see him. But then, of course, they also added the detail that Hera can't, so that just made it even more heartbreaking all over again.
Aww.
So, quite a few of them were just like, Jason can see him, but Hera can't. So,
Aww.
Well, that's great.
Aww.
Does that mean she's blind?
She's not Force sensitive, so.
I mean, technically, we don't know that non-Force sensitives can't see Force ghosts.
Well, didn't she? It seemed like it seemed like she saw him in one of those episodes.
I felt that.
Yeah.
So, it's all right.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, maybe, I don't know that she would actually see him. Maybe it's her imagination. Who knows? Who knows?
He's okay.
Yeah. I don't think he's okay.
He's fine.
Zoe, are you ever going to decide that he's not fine? I'm just curious.
No.
Because you've been doing this for like months
He's
now.
okay. He's okay, just like all the other characters who died that I didn't want him to. All right? He's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, I have certain Star Wars characters I refuse to accept. Same type of thing. Like, I wish Plo Koon were still around. And I always say, if they rebuilt Darth Maul, why couldn't they rebuild him? Yeah. But I don't know. Anyway.
He's okay. It was just a little explosion,
Exactly.
Explosion.
Well, I guess one interesting thing that I've noticed lately is that if Maz Kanata could retrieve Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from the depths of Cloud City, surely she could hunt down Kanan's lightsaber and give it to his son eventually. So
there you go. I like it.
It's all good.
he needs it.
Yeah.
If he has the Force.
That's right.
I guess he probably will, because
I've seen there's like a big following of people who don't want him to, but one friend was like, I don't think we've ever seen in canon a kid who had a Force-sensitive parent not be Force-sensitive, so he probably will be. But
I mean, as long as he doesn't get trained by Luke, so he's not involved in that whole fiasco, it's all right.
There you go.
Maybe Ezra will just homeschool him or something after Sabine and Ahsoka get him from wherever he is.
yeah, Ezra and Ahsoka take him very quickly, so Luke can't get his hands on him.
No Skywalkers.
Skywalkers aren't good.
No, they're a bad omen.
They mean well, but it never turns out well.
Well, some of them mean well, not all of them.
Well, most of them.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh, I had a question. What's your favorite Disney Forces of Destiny episode so far?
I kind of like the one where Hera confronts Han Solo. I thought that was a pretty cool one, just because it sort of addressed that age-old question,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
love
like the recent one with the Ewoks.
Oh, yeah, that one was cool, too. Yeah.
I like the one with Sabine and Hera, and they get on the wrong transport, and Chopper saves the day.
That's right. Now I remember.
He starts shooting the glass, and Hera's no.
Hera is just tired. She'd never coffee that day.
That's funny.
Call me a bad fan, but I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but I haven't seen the ones that were released today yet.
I haven't seen them either, Shay. It's okay.
Okay, somebody else has them. So
It's okay.
I haven't seen those, but out of all the other ones that have been released, my favorite is probably the Jin and Sabine one, just because none of us ever thought that was going to happen in canon, and it happened. And
Yeah. That was a cool episode.
In all my periods where I was free and had access today, I was refreshing the Disney YouTube page over and over again. But then when they released it, I wasn't free, and now I'll watch them as soon as we're done with this. I promise.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. That's what I'll do for Star Wars Day, is watch those, finally.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Ewok Adventures movie?
No.
I've not.
There was
Isn't it like really, really hard to find?
I could always send it to you guys.
Okay. Like, where did you find it? I'm curious.
I have no idea, but my dad just gave it to me when I was really little, and I always watched it over and over. And there's one of the Ewok episodes, there's a reference to that movie, and it makes me really happy.
You know the old Droids cartoon with like 3PO and R2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me what actually happens in it.
Aw.
We still have the DVDs. I could probably rewatch it.
I need to hunt all these things down. I see art from them. I see references to them. I'm like, see, like, I can tell you pretty much anything you want to know about the movies, and I can really tell you pretty much anything you want to know about Rebels, but when it comes to that stuff, I'm kind of lost. So.
You gotta watch the holiday special.
Yeah, I've got to get around to that.
Yeah.
It's slightly traumatizing, but it's okay.
Yeah, a good friend watched it recently and was like, okay. He was like, I watched it. I was like, oh, is it worth watching? He was like, no. But he was like, if you want to be included as like the top tier of fandom, like you really know what you're talking about, you're really devoted, then yeah, you probably ought to watch it.
Yeah. I think it's a must-see.
It's just, I think my dad says it's a good testament to 80s holiday specials, because he says, I wasn't around then.
Sure.
But, like, he says that, like, they were pretty much all like that. Star Wars is just the only one that really survived just because it's part of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Very cool. Well, you know what? I just looked at the clock. It's 3:30. I got to go back down into my studio and record, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on.
Yeah, definitely. That was our glorious half hour.
It was fun.
Well, happy Star Wars Day, you guys, and I'm so grateful for how much you've done since we last talked. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And may the 4th be with you.
Yeah, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Happy Star Wars Day. Take care.
Happy Star Wars Day. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was fun. Vanessa was on. We were hanging with Hera.
Hey,
you guys
did not tell me she was going to be on here, and I saw her name pop up, and I had a freak out.
I know. I was hoping for that.
I like freaked out. I was like, what?
You kept very calm, much calmer than I would have been. So, you know. That was fun. Hanging with Hera sounds like one of the podcasts in like the Coffee with Kenobi network. You know, they have Coffee with Kenobi, Lattes with Leia, Hanging with Hera. I don't know anymore.
It needs to be a thing now.
Yeah. See, that was fun.
Well, Miss Jonah has the one that's Hanging with Kanan, so.
Yeah, hanging with Team Kanan, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I left out a word.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good Star Wars Day celebration. It was today. People who like know me, and therefore people who know Rebels, because I don't associate with people who don't know Rebels. Just kidding. But they were like, "Hey, what are you doing for Star Wars Day?" I'm like, "I'm going to talk to Vanessa Marshall from Star Wars Rebels." And we're just like, "Okay." It was fun though. Yeah, it's a good Star Wars Day celebration. My dad said that Star Wars Day is when George Lucas comes down the chimney. You gotta set out the CGI pears for him.
Oh my goodness. So, did either of y'all ever do anything for Revenge of the 5th or Revenge of the 6th?
For Revenge of the 5th and 6th, I celebrate them both, I guess. I usually just I don't have many dark side shirts. I don't wear them often. I'm very light side, but I usually try to wear those shirts. on the 5th and 6th. Tomorrow for Revenge of the 5th, I'm taking my SATs. So
yay.
That's fun.
I'm sorry.
I love waking up early in the morning and going to school on a Saturday. It's the best.
Oh. It's okay, you got this. I believe in you.
Hopefully.
No, not hopefully, you will.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will. No, never mind. I said I was gonna try, but I saw where that was going immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, Vanessa was awesome.
Vanessa's always awesome.
Yeah. Shay, you kept your cool. I said that already, but
Yes.
thank
you.
I probably would have cried. So
I'm not good at keeping my cool.
I've had like 2 days to prepare, so I got it all out. But good. We don't have much on the notes. I know what to say on the notes. Yeah, that's cool. So,
Seen that? Did you see that clip? The Han Solo clip with Chewie being cool and the Falcon.
I saw it.
yes. Did you see? Oh, yeah. That. Never mind. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it. It was so cute.
Do you know what is stressing me out? They said that on May the 4th they were going to tell us when and where Celebration is, and they still haven't.
That was not real.
Really?
Really.
What a
That was some guy
I'm gonna
just being a
fight
jerk.
him.
It's not real.
I'm sad now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't really know because I told my dad that you were doing that, and then he says, "Nope, that wasn't real. Some random guy." It's like, oh.
Would have been great for you to text me that when I said that several hours ago.
No, but I just got out of school, and that's what he told
Okay.
me.
Okay, I'm teasing you a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
I had something to say. Oh, so the other yesterday when we were at Disneyland, apparently the new I don't remember who it was. It was the news, and they came up to me and my family. They were like, "Hey, could you say this to the camera and be cool?" So we did. So, and then apparently we were on the news. And then, did you guys hear about the Roar for Change?
I did.
Yeah, it was cool. We were there. It was so good. It was so... I can't do a roar, though.
I can't either.
Did you
I don't even know where to start.
kind of speaking of this? Did you do you guys have your solo tickets yet?
I don't.
I don't.
We got ours. The theater said it was either for 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, but the 6 o'clock tickets were like $30 each. It's like, we can
Wow.
wait. We can wait an hour. You know, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm even going to see it because my dad does not seem super excited about this one. And I have to, work. The whole family goes together. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get to see it opening week.
I'm excited. It looks like, cause like the last anthology movie. I'm excited for the anthology movies because I think they allow some like going kind of in the direction that Clone Wars and Rebels did. Which like they don't exactly follow the Skywalker story, but they branch off with their own kind of peeps. Wow. Oh my god. I hate myself. And I think because like Rogue One I was excited for, and as much as I did try to deny it, I knew deep down they weren't gonna make it. So I was like, I don't think this one's gonna be as depressing though. So that's good.
Yeah, that's something my friends and I have talked about a lot. My Star Wars friends, as I call them, because a lot of them were like, this is gonna be like of course we're gonna watch it and we're probably gonna like it, but it's hard to get really hyped up for it because it just kind of feels a little out of place. Like, how does this continue the epic light versus dark battle in the galaxy? And I finally was like, guys, it doesn't. That's why we're supposed to like it. Like it's not supposed to be an epic battle between good and evil. It's just supposed to be fun. So just like enjoy it for that. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy in Star Wars. Like, that movie is not super profound, I guess, as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes. It kind of is, but it's also kind of silly. So just enjoy it for being goofy in Star Wars and probably not having to cry your eyeballs out over anybody. So
I mean, I'm still gonna cry. Just that's a given. I think like
nothing happens.
Yeah, I think like I think one of the things that Star Wars can do, and I think is kind of doing with the anthology movies, is exploring different genres and putting them in the Star Wars universe. Because, like, the Star Wars universe is so big and diverse, there's no need to confine it to the same kind of, like, fantasy story, which is good, but you can, do a lot with it. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because Rogue One was kind of like a war movie, and this is kind of like a Western / comedy / I don't know what it is.
The one thing I am worried about, crying-wise, is I fear for Kira's life.
Yeah.
Neither of you have really read Last Shot, have you?
No.
No, okay. I won't say anything then. It doesn't explicitly state anything.
You can say whatever you want. I don't care.
I can say it? Okay. This isn't like an exact spoiler for like a big moment in the
book. You
book.
can say anything you want as long as it doesn't have to do with Infinity War. That's the one thing you can't
I haven't seen Infinity War. You don't even have to worry about it.
Okay.
I think like this isn't a big spoiler for the book, but in some of the Last Shot follows, I think, 3 different stories. One with Han and Lando after Return of the Jedi. One with Han before A New Hope and before after Solo, I think. And then one with Lando before Solo and before A New Hope and everything. And the one with Han, but that takes place before A New Hope, there's, especially in the beginning, some mentions from like Santa Staros and Maz Kanata, and they're like, hey, you're missing some girl or something, aren't you? And Han just always goes like, no, forget about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. So
okay.
That to me, that means Kira is either going to die or maybe just betray them. So that's
yeah, that doesn't sound good for her.
Yeah. Although my greatest fear for this movie is that I'm going to love Kira's outfits too much and it'll be another costume to add to the list. Because every time I see her costumes, I think about it.
Do it.
You definitely are to go for it. My sister's already decided she's going to try to cosplay her because she has the bangs like Kira does. She's like, I've already got the hair. I can just do this one.
Yeah, only thing slightly, like, putting me off is probably the makeup, just because I have literally no idea how to do that. Yeah. But, whatever. Well, because I always thought her outfits were really cool, and then my mom told me she thinks I kind of look like her, and now I'm just looking at her costumes even more. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. We got her cup from Denny's. It's staring at me.
I think you should do it.
Well, you're an enabler, Lizzie.
Do it.
Although, I think what would make the movie absolutely perfect for me is if they played the Chewbacca song by Supernova when Chewie comes on screen. That would be the best. I used to... rock out to that song when I was little. It's my favorite.
I haven't listened to it.
It's cool. It's not exactly lyrically ingenious. But it's still pretty cool. I don't want to play it on the podcast. I don't know how the copyright would work for that. 'Cause I don't know the law. Not a lawyer. But I'll send it to you, Lizzie. You can listen to it. It's pretty great. It's pretty short.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone should look it up, the Chewbacca song. It's not called the Chewbacca song, it's just called Chewbacca, but I don't want to say Chewbacca, and then you think I'm talking about the character. FYI. Yeah, what are you guys looking for in Solo?
Lando.
Lando is awesome. His outfits are really cool too. I was up in New York last Saturday, and I went to Midway Comics because, of course, and they had racks and racks of Solo pops. I only walked out of that store buying a Sabacc game. I didn't buy any of their decently priced pops, which is an accomplishment for me because I have an addiction to pop figures. But then later,
how many pops do each of y'all have?
I have a lot in my room, probably 15, 20 in my room. Then we have probably another, I'd say 25 in this office right here. And then downstairs in the basement we have probably 50, 60, 70. Safi in her room probably has 15 or 20. So yeah, it's a problem.
I only have 5 or 9.
We have all of them. We save all the boxes, so we have the one room in our basement is pretty much all the walls are just lined with pop boxes.
Well, my sister, see, we had this thing where we're not going to blow money on collectibles, and then, yes, that didn't work out so well.
That's, yeah.
So I got, the first one we ever got was one of my sisters found Rey in the snow with the lightsaber from The Force Awakens, because I cosplay Rey, and they were like, here, Shay, now you and your little figure, you've got it, and you can do the thing now with it. I was like, okay. And then, so then it just kind of went, hey, well, we've got Rey. And then Dad came home one day and was like, well, here, these were on sale, and I know you guys like these characters, so here is Jyn and Phasma, and there was I think another Rey. There were several of the girls, and we were like, we ought to start a collection and just collect our favorite girls from our favorite franchises. So we'll get our favorite Star Wars girls, and we'll get our favorite Marvel girls. We can find our favorite Lord of the Rings girls if they do that, and then we'll do that. And then my sister got obsessed because she got this app on her iPod where she can track them down and find them for good prices and stuff. And now we have 70 some in her room.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason we have so many is because the Smuggler's Bounty boxes that I think they discontinued that right now. Didn't they? I don't know. But they always had 1 or 2 pops in them for a while. We were getting that, and then when the First Order one came, it was supposed to have a Chrome Phasma and a special First Order TIE Fighter. And when we got it, it just had 2 special First Order TIE Fighters and no Phasma. So my dad emailed and was like, hey, we don't care about these TIE Pilot guys. We just really want Phasma. And they said, oh, okay, we're sorry. So they sent us 2 boxes of the First Order one, both of which had a Phasma and a TIE Pilot and Phasma and TIE Pilot.
Oh, wow.
And then for the next couple boxes, they sent us 2. So we were just getting all this stuff. Now they only send us 1, which means my sister and I fight over everything, and then my dad just comes over and he's like, actually, that's mine. It's like, oh, okay.
We were subscribed to those, but then they're ending them, I think, after the Solo box. I think that's the last one.
Okay.
My sister's trying to con me into splitting it, going 50-50, and paying for it and then like splitting the stuff. Like she generally runs off with the pops as soon as it comes in, and I get the shirt, which is fine.
Yeah, just looking at just my desk in here right now, there's 5. My sister's desk was 3. That shelf over there has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So in this room, there's a total of 25.
My sister's very possessive of ours. She will not let me take them out of the boxes.
Really?
She's like, it brings the value down if you take them out of the boxes, so you're not allowed to play with them. I'm like, but I really want to go set up, like, I really want to at least take out the ghost crew, please. And she's like, no. I'm like, can I just, like, take out Kanan and Hera and take some pictures? And she's like, no. So I'm like, okay.
We actually
Whatever.
have the whole ghost crew, except we actually don't have Kanan and Ezra. I don't know why we don't. Well, because, like, my priority was, like, okay, let's get Sabine and Hera. And both Sabine's, Hera, and Ahsoka. And then, while we were getting Sabine and Hera, they also had Chopper and Zeb, so we got that. And then, we just never really found Hera, I guess. Or Kanan and Ezra.
Well, my sister was able to track down the helmeted Sabine, which was the one she wanted really, really bad. And so she got that one. And then we got, I'm trying to remember. We got the holographic Ahsoka, the exclusive, because they had it at our local Hot Topic store.
I got
so
that.
So we, like, grabbed that. Like, well, we never get to go to the cons, so we have to get them when they send them to the stores. So we, like...
You know, I might not have gotten it at a con. Oh, I remember. It was at a con for $20, and we went across to the mall across the street, and it was there for, like, $18 at Hot Topic, so we got it there.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We, like, grabbed it. I was like, Sherry, these are exclusive. I'm getting it. And then I think it was, like, Barnes & Noble or somewhere weird was trying to get rid of all the Rebels pops because the show ended. And, like, the next week, they're like, all our Rebels pops are $2 online. You're like... So we grabbed them all, but they didn't have Chopper. And then we went to a local Comic-Con, and one of the vendors there had the exclusive Chopper where he's dressed up in Imperial paint.
I got that one at a con, yeah.
We got that. We don't have real Chopper yet, so.
Yeah, I think my sister is real Chopper. Real Chopper and Hera are locked away in my sister's room. Everyone else is in mine. Yeah.
I just have the Ghost Crew and Leia and a few Jins on my Star Wars light thing on the wall. It's hard to explain. But yeah, that's it. I'm not that into pops. I don't collect.
Don't start. I have every single Rey pop.
I'm trying to do that.
Do you know how many Reys there are?
How many are there?
There's too many. There's like the Snow with the lightsaber, and there's the one she had at the end of Force Awakens, and then there's the with the helmet and the doll. And there's the regular one with the staff, and then there's the one with like the goggles and stuff, and then there's the one from Last Jedi. I wanted to get all the Jins, so I think I've got every Jin right now. I've got
which
3
I'm really happy about. There's only like, I don't know, there's actually quite a few of her to be like the character that she was on the anthology movie that everybody tries to forget about. But I love her, so I got all of them. And then I'm trying to get every Rey. I've got like 3 or 4.
There's so many. We have some non-Star Wars pops. All the ones on my desk are non-Star Wars because most of the Star Wars ones I have are in my room. Yeah, I have 2 Wonder Woman, an Overwatch, a Tokyo Ghoul, and I have a Black Panther one. My desk. So many.
I'm trying to remember. We only have like 5 that's not Star Wars. But like around that number. I know the other day the Walmart exclusive Thanos pop where he's got like all the Infinity Stones and it looks like his hand is throwing up on the side of the box. So it looks nasty to me. But I went to Walmart and saw it, and I texted my sister, and she was like, oh, grab it. I'm like, why do you want this person? He's horrible. So, but we got it.
we always take our pops like right out of the box, except for the ones where like we just get them when it's like I don't know where to put this. We just put them in the office on the shelf of shame, with all the ones that aren't out of their boxes. Yeah, I got the Ayla Secura one out of that one Smuggler's Bounty box I did, and her stomach is brown. Like, for no reason.
That bothers me so much.
And, like, if I trust myself to not completely mess her up, I'd paint it, but I don't, so... Yeah, what else? So, yeah, that was a long discussion about pops. Okay.
I feel like I'm hogging the conversation away from Lizzie, so I need to be quiet.
No, it's okay. It's just... I don't have pops. Oh, I almost choked on
What other
air.
stuff is there? There's the Black Series figures. Do you guys have any of those?
I only have the Sabine one, and I keep her helmet on.
Her faces kind of scare me. So.
I have Hera. Well, I have Sabine, Ahsoka, and Rey. And I got Hera for my sister's birthday. And she's a Kylo too, I think. But I got her Hera. And her birthday is September 17th. So I gave it to her then. And I think she just took it out of the box for the first time yesterday. Or she might not have. Yesterday she told me she was going to, but she's been telling me that for months. So
I have Jin, because I collect all things Jin, and I mainly get them like so I can look at the costumes if I'm thinking about cosplaying them, or just so I can say that I have them because they're my favorite character. So I have Jin, and I have Hera, of course, and I have Last Jedi Rey, and I have the little shorter one of Ahsoka.
I've seen that one before, and I'm always like, oh no, not today, you need money. Then
Yeah.
And then when I have money, I'm like, you should save it for something else. So it's just...
They were like $4 on the clearance shelf at our Walmart, so we were like, why not? Which is always a bad thing to say, but... So I also have Kylo, because I got him for Christmas. And I have Thrawn. I got him recently. So he looks really, really weird in the illustration on the box. He looks like he had, like, he's... Like, people who, like... I'm trying to think of a nice way to phrase this. I don't want to sound bad if I say this. Like, if people have, like, spent their entire life in a tanning bed, their skin looks kind of weird. Like, he looks like that and old, and his face is, like, really saggy looking. And I'm like, that's really gross looking.
He was maybe starting to lose some of the blue, like, color, and so we went to, like, a Chiss tanning salon. To be re-bluified.
Yeah, like the actual figure of him looks fine, but the illustration on the box looks weird, and I'm like...
I think the only Black Series figure I have a problem with and will never get is the Poe Dameron one. I love Poe so much, but I don't want to go near that figure.
I have yet to find a single figure that looks like him except for the pop. And like the pops don't even look actually human, and that looks the most like him. Like
the Sabine and like Hera ones and the Kanan one, I don't have the Kanan, but from what I've seen, like they all look pretty good. Like all the other ones, like Rey, Finn, but Poe, like I don't know what happened. Oscar Isaac is so handsome. How could they do that?
None of the figures or drawings or anything get him right. It's really creepy. Have you seen like the little kids coloring books?
I only one I have of those is the Rebels and Forces of Destiny ones, so no.
Well, our Nana got us the I think it was Force Awakens ones. She found them somewhere and was like, "Oh, my girls like Star Wars, so I'll get these." And she brought them to us one day. And we were like, "Great!" And then my little sister was coloring in it, and I saw Poe. I was like, "Oh dear."
His face just exists on like an ethereal plane of existence, just too good to be replicated.
Bad.
The Rex Black Series looks good.
Yeah, that one looks really good.
I haven't seen that one.
It actually looks like him. A lot of the Black series get it good, and you're like, whoa, it looks just like them. And then you get really close and you look at it and you're like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah.
And it just, something looks off, but I think they're using a new technology or something with it now. And they did like a trial run of 5s or somebody, and it looked fantastic. So.
Yeah. I saw that one at Midway Comics, and it wasn't much because Black series can be expensive, but I think it was only like $12. And I was like, I should just buy this and then like just go give it to Jonah. But she probably already has one, so
Probably.
I really want the Kane and Black series so I can go into Safi's room with the Hera one.
I want to find that one.
And I can't confirm this, but I saw someone say somewhere that like the Kanan and Hera one's hands fit together, and even if that's not true, I don't care. It's true in my head.
It should be true.
Yeah.
It better be true.
Collecting things. There's the Force of Destiny dolls. I have all of the first ones, and I still can't find Ahsoka. It's the only one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ahsoka's the only one that I can't mess up the hair. I'm terrified. When I was a kid, like I had a couple, like I used to be really in when I was little to like the Monster High thing, so I had a whole bunch of dolls, and I like screwed up pretty much all of their hair, and now I'm terrified every time I touch my Forces of Destiny one. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna ruin you. I was trying to put the helmet on the Endor Leia one, and then I started to like move her braid thing a little bit, and I was like, no, never mind, you're just gonna hold it. I can't.
I don't have any of those yet, but I want to get Ahsoka. Though I've heard she's kind of hard to find.
From my experience, she is. So
I want to get.
Found her.
I want to get her and maybe Padme if I can find her.
Yeah, I haven't found the Padme one either. Just the series. I have all the series one. The Sabine one, I keep the helmet on because
her hair.
It's like a bob.
Weird.
It's not even close.
It's Governor Price dressed up as me.
Yeah, right. But it's like a poofy like bob. It's strange. I would really want to see season 3 or epilogue Sabine Force of Destiny. That would be the best.
That would be cool.
Epilogue would be easy because they just have to give her like fuzz on her head, just purple fuzz.
She looks like a little chick.
I love it. I'm very excited for that one. I'm trying to convince my parents to be like, hey, let's just do that for my hair, my real hair. But they're worried about me finding summer job, whatever. I mean, yeah, it's great. What else? Yeah, happy. It's May the 4th. What else can we talk about? This is a thing that was on the Star Wars website app thing. Which order do you think is the best to watch Star Wars in? The age-old question.
I'm afraid I'm gonna lose all my followers if I say it, but I just need to say I like chronological the best.
Which order is the best to watch the Star Wars movies in?
Yeah.
I think it depends. Like, if you're showing them to someone for the first time, I think it depends on if you think Anakin going bad is a more important, like, shocker, or if Darth Vader being Luke's father is a more important shocker. If that makes sense. I'm assuming this person is, like, a child and doesn't know, hasn't heard about it.
Actually, I have a story about that. I personally, like, I know I'm going to get hated for this, but I personally like chronological the best. And about a month ago, our Nana was staying with us for a couple weeks. So we were like, hey, you've never seen Star Wars. You need to watch Star Wars. So it was mainly my sisters who did it. They took her through every movie, including Rogue One. So they like took her through all of that. And I tried to say, can we just watch like the important arcs of Clone Wars and Rebels? But they were not going for that. So even though I think at least having the important arcs of Clone Wars is a good idea. But so they took her through that, and she had never, like, she really had no clue about Anakin turning bad or Vader being Luke's father or anything. So I think she had a good reaction to it in chronological.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, if you're showing this to someone who doesn't know about anything, I think it's up to you. Like, do you want them to be more shocked by I am your father? Or do you want them to be shocked by Anakin killing children? I think it depends on that. I think, like, now that I know, like, knowing what happens, I think I'd like to watch it in chronological, just see the story build up. But I don't know what I'd show it to someone who doesn't know for the first time. I think, actually, with one friend, she hadn't seen Star Wars before, so I kind of kidnapped her for a couple of days and was like, alright, sit down, you're watching this. And we watched it chronologically, which was a bad idea because the whole time after episode 1, all she wanted to do was talk about Padme's outfits. I'm like, I know, they're awesome, but watch the freaking movie.
I guess it would just be like, not in order, like Phantom Menace going up from there, including shows. That's it.
I think I was gonna say something and now it is not in my brain anymore. This summer I'm planning on watching everything in order. I did the math. If I don't sleep or take any breaks, it'll take just under a week. Which means if I do try to probably sleep a little bit, I should, and stuff, it'll take about maybe a week, a little bit over. So I'm gonna try to figure out where Forces of Destiny episodes are in, and try to put them in. I'm debating whether or not I should find timestamps and then pause here, watch this Forces of Destiny, and then keep watching the movie. I don't know. I'll see.
Well, just make sure if there's anybody watching it with you that they're Star Wars fans and they don't mind, because my class, our last literature assignment for this year was to actually watch Return of the Jedi, and we were supposed to write a paper on it and everything. So we were like, hey, let's all get together and watch it as a class. That'll be fun, right? Well, a lot of the kids in the class are Star Wars fans, but all they wanted to do the whole time was make fun of the special effects and Palpatine's makeup.
I mean, so you're not a Star Wars fan unless you can make fun of Star Wars. Right.
But I was like, it's okay. But also, the one guy was like, I've kind of gotten a reputation for Star Wars, most knowledgeable Star Wars person in the class, and I know all this random trivia that most of them are I really don't care about that. So, and none of them watch Rebels. A couple of them have watched Clone Wars. But, so I kept going, oh look, there's Rex, and they were like, what? And I was like, well, it's kind of confirmed, not entirely, but
I don't think it's confirmed that Rex made it to Return of the Jedi. It's not confirmed that guy is Rex, though, right? They didn't say that.
Yeah.
It was, I thought.
I remember they posted, the picture, I guess not concept art, but, the picture of the model for Rex, and then everyone just kind of ran with it. and then the guy that posted it, I guess he worked for Lucasfilm, he was like, well, I just posted a picture, man. Just calm down. It's okay.
Well, when they said in the epilogue that he was in the Battle of Endor, I was like, okay, I just accepted it. That the old guy is him. But, everybody just decided if they had a random question, wait, why can we hear the sounds in space, that I was supposed to have a full answer for them. I was like, guys, just watch the movie.
The answer is that it's Star Wars and science doesn't matter.
That's what I told them.
It's science fantasy, not science fiction. So, Shh.
I'm actually not even sure why the science word is in there. It's fantasy in a futuristic setting. Like
I think
Lord of
that's
the
where
Rings
the
is.
fantasy
It's like
comes from, or the science comes from. Does the futuristic setting?
yeah, but like Lord of the Rings is fantasy and it's in like Renaissance, but then like Harry Potter is considered fantasy and it's like contemporary. So
Yeah.
I
I don't know. I once in last year in my Spanish class we were learning like about like different words for stuff in fiction, like different genres and stuff. And so one of the questions was like, Star Wars is an example of blank, and the only thing in the word bank was science fiction. And I yelled at my teacher in Spanish, which is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I yelled at my teacher in Spanish that it was science fantasy. And she told me to go sit back down, but still.
In Spanish.
Yeah, in Spanish. Is that my phone? No one ever calls the phone unless I'm podcasting, I swear. Yeah. That's when people. That's annoying. It always annoys when people are like, "Oh, you like Star Wars," but you know it's stupid that like there's explosions when I'm just like,
yeah,
whatever.
I was like in shock after watching The Last Jedi because I did not realize, like I went and read reviews and stuff and people were like hating on the bomber scene. They were like, that's so stupid, they wouldn't fall down, it's space, there's no gravity. I was like, you what?
Well,
like
I mean, I have a decent grade in physics, but I'm not a very good science person, but like Star Destroyers and stuff are like pretty big. They'd have some kind of gravitational field, I imagine. I don't know.
That's what I said. And I also apparently I think it's the visual dictionary.
They said it was magnets, right?
Yes, they confirmed that it was magnetic. And they were like, guys, we have an answer for this. And I'm like, why? This is the biggest problem people found with the movie.
Well, no, if you can watch a movie where a farmer kid goes out into the world and meets this princess who happens to be his long-lost twin sister, and that's more believable than just a simple explosion in space in this faraway galaxy, then like, really?
Yeah, and
really?
Don't forget that he also gets like a laser sword and learns to use it, an invisible mystical lifty power thing.
It's like nothing in Star Wars makes sense. Just go with it, okay? Just go with it. Yeah, that's my soapbox. I'm sorry, but I'm very annoyed when people like want Star Wars science to be accurate. Like this, it's just magic, okay? It's space magic. Go away. It's a galaxy far, far away. Maybe there's like oxygen and stuff in their space. I mean, there has to be something, because Kane was just chilling there in fingerless gloves and a stormtrooper helmet. It was fine, so, you know.
Yeah, it's like, so stormtrooper helmets suddenly have oxygen in them. Like,
remember, that was in like season 2, right? And like they're like,
yeah.
Like Sabine had on her. She just stuck on a regular helmet, and then Ezra stuck on a regular helmet, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
The part that gets me is in 0 Hour, where all the Mandos and Ezra get on the ship, and like Ezra's wearing this big clunky spacesuit, and it's like sealed and has like the bulb helmet and all that, and then all the Mandos are running around in their Mando gear, and like you can see their neck. There's like no seal, like you can see their skin, and I'm like, guys,
you know, it's fine. You know, there are more important things happening than the bombs falling when they shouldn't be. It's just, you know, shh, it's okay. For in my English class, our next unit, which is our last unit, is going to be on science fiction and science fantasy. I'm very glad for the clarification, because for the last ending of the unit, we get to watch a movie and we can vote on it. And she said usually Star Wars gets picked because high schoolers. And we get to analyze it, which I'm really excited, because all I ever do is analyze Star Wars movies. That's all I want.
Just submit your podcast.
Yeah, that would be great. My friend Lizzy helped me with this assignment. Give her an A+ too. So yeah, Star Wars. Happy May the 4th. Science doesn't matter. Is that... I mean, are we running out of words?
I have nothing to say.
Lily's tired. She was at Disneyland all night.
Yeah, I got 5 hours of sleep. And then I went saber training at school.
Oh, wow.
I stayed up late. Not because anything specific. I was just writing depressing stuff and sending it to Lizzy.
Stuff like you send them to me, and then you expect me to cry.
I want to make you cry. That's my greatest goal in life.
It was such a jerk face thing to do.
One day I'll write something good enough to make you cry. That's my goal. I'll do it. I promise.
Okay.
Alright, is that all the words?
I mean, I'm sure I can dig some up somewhere. But
so yeah, I don't know. Shay, you can plug yourself. You're going to do a panel or something soon, right?
oh yeah, so next Saturday, 1 week, tomorrow. I never can remember dates. Okay, so next Saturday I'm going to this little. It's they say they're not a Comic Con, they're a pop culture con, and it's in Athens, Ohio, and it's called the Rathacon. And I had emailed them several months ago because I knew it was coming up, and I said, hey, do you guys ever feature podcasters? And the lady who's organizing it said, yep. She was like, give me your info and we'll let you have a table and we'll let you do a live podcast and all that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So apparently I'm going to go and I'm going to have a table. I'm going to set up. It's going to be me and my family and a friend's going with us. And I'm going to probably do a live podcast there and talk with some people and kind of get the word out about my website and podcast and meet some other fans. So.
Sounds awesome. So yeah, if anyone it's in Ohio, you said, so
yeah,
if you're in Ohio next week, you can go to a con and meet Shay.
I might scare everybody away.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, people, and you like the things I like. Let me attack you.
That's okay. That's what everyone does. That's pretty much celebration.
Yeah. Well, I got to go to Lexington Comic Con a couple months ago, and that was like that was actually the first Comic Con I'd ever been to, and I didn't talk to anybody, and my dad was like, are you okay? This is not normal. And I was just like walking around with like my eyes were huge, and I was just like staring at everybody. And yeah, and I think I scared some people because they were like trying to talk to me. I was like, yeah, okay. And just because I wasn't used to that, I was just like, I want to stay here forever. I want to live here.
That makes sense. That's a decent reaction. So yeah. So Shay, we can find you. You have a website, so it's Elven Padawan.
Yes.
.com. Yeah.
Yep.
Of
And
course.
then I've got my podcast that's on iTunes, and it should be on Google Play Music too, and it's on SoundCloud. Not that anybody actually uses SoundCloud to listen to podcasts, but and then I have a Twitter feed, so
SoundCloud is for dubiously copyrighted music.
yeah. Yes. Like I always put that in there when I'm doing the credits for my podcast. I'm like, I'm also on SoundCloud, but I'm thinking like nobody believes that's legitimate.
And I mean, I guess I don't have to tell you where to find Star Wars Geek Girl if you're listening to this, because you're already here. You could follow us on Twitter and stuff, though. We don't use it much, but we're there. So yeah. I understand, Lizzie, you have to go in, like, soon, right?
No, because my dad's going to go to the event alone because Axel and I are extremely tired from Disneyland.
Oh, okay. That's why I was wrapping it up. I was like, Lizzie has to leave soon. No. Okay, that's fine. So, I don't know.
I have one question for y'all.
Okay.
Y'all probably already talked about this. Like, I was just gonna let you know, I listen to your podcast whenever you release a new one, but my iPod has not been letting me lately, so I haven't heard, like, the past 3 episodes.
Oh, no.
So, apologies for if this is something you already covered, but, like, what do you think the chances of getting Jason in Star Wars Resistance are gonna be?
I think I would like to, and it would just add another, like, Star Wars animation kind of linking itself together. I think there's a chance we could see him as, like, a Resistance pilot hanging with Poe, because he'd be like a little older than Poe, right? So
Yeah, like something like that, I think.
yeah. So I think that would be pretty awesome, and he could, he'd be like, yeah, my mom's like the best pilot ever. She taught me everything.
That'd be adorable.
Maybe he takes Chopper, too. Or maybe
Aw.
Chopper stays home with Hera. Or maybe Hera's in Resistance.
Yeah, I need that.
Abilities.
I also want to, because I liked Clone Wars characters being Rebels, and I think Rebels was better because I don't want to make it sound like Rebels would have been bad without the Clone Wars characters, but I think Rebels was better because of how it connected to the Clone Wars in some ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Filoni did a good job at making sure that Rebels wasn't Clone Wars 2, that it was Rebels. It just happened to connect with Clone Wars a lot. And I think he will do probably something similar with Resistance in that it connects to Rebels and some of the characters are, their stories intertwined in Resistance. But it's not going to be Rebels 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Love a Rebels 2. I would love to see Jason, though. I really want him to have the cane and ponytail.
No, it'd be sad.
Oh, I did read a little fan fiction about that, where he was part of the Resistance, and he and Poe were, like, going on some mission or something, and Poe was like, you need to look normal. He's like, I do look normal for me. And he was like, yeah, but you draw attention because you look like a human except your hair and stuff. So he had him dye his hair brown. And, like, Hera saw him and was, like, kind of just in shock. And I was like,
It's the total opposite.
It was kind of like a bittersweet fan fiction because it was a really sweet moment between Hera and Jason, but she was like, you look exactly like your father. I'm like, no. I'm sad.
Why do you guys write such depressing things? Why?
It wasn't that... it was,
Stop right there. Stop.
It wasn't that depressing.
You want me to send it to everyone I know. See if they think it's depressing.
It's not. Yeah, well, it could be. It could be worse. It could be worse.
Okay. Fine.
It could be worse.
It's still sad.
Yeah, there were
You make yourself
lots of
cry.
tears. Yeah. Though, Lizzie, I have a question. Is it sadder than the other one I sent you, the way shorter one?
A shorter one.
Like, that was a while ago. And you, when I sent it to you, you asked me, like, how depressed were you when you wrote this?
I don't.
It's okay. You don't have to
I
remember.
wish you had titles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
They're just all sad. That one was the least sad.
Well,
so.
There was one that was happy, Lizzie.
Yeah.
Only 2 out of 3 were sad, okay?
I feel bad for the people listening to this, and you,
Yeah, they don't know what
Shay,
we're talking
you'll
about.
read this.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Hey.
I don't know.
Like, they're really, really good. Just,
Eh,
yes, they are. But if you're human, unlike me, you're going to cry.
Okay.
Maybe I'll send them to Shay.
Do it.
Okay. No, I don't need any more depressing things in my life.
I'll send you the happy one. The happy one's really happy.
Okay.
It's also somewhat sad.
How is it sad? Oh yeah, it's kind of sad. Well, oh yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. Okay.
Well, one interesting thing I will say is that in Clone Wars we had Cham, who was like, I would say he was probably in his 20s or 30s, and then his daughter was a prominent secondary character in Rebels, and then now like Resistance, Jason will be like probably in his 30s, early 30s maybe.
He'd be in his early 30s, yeah.
Yeah. So like early 30s. So it could work for him to take a similar role to what Hera did in Rebels.
I'm trying to think. If Poe is in the Resistance, it has to be within a year before Force Awakens, I think. So Jason would either be 33 or 34. Well, they said Poe's going to be in it.
Yeah, but he's going to be in the show, but do we know if he's going to be actually part of the Resistance or not?
When I read Before the Awakening, Poe didn't really have any interactions with the Resistance, it said, until Leia recruited him into the Resistance.
Okay, because I didn't know if he was like still part of the New Republic.
He was part of the New Republic, but the Resistance was kind of like secret. Like the New Republic didn't really support them. It kind of supported them, it mostly just kind of looked the other way.
Yeah.
And so Poe did some Poe things, got kind of in trouble, and Leia called him in. He's like, oh no, they're going to ground me. And she's like, hey, you want to join the Resistance? He's like, sure.
I'm curious if it's going to overlap with the Poe comic. I would assume it will. Like they'll run during the same time period.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Well, Poe is going to be like maybe a main character. I mean, he might be. I don't know. What do I know? But
I know Tracy Canobio came on Twitter and said something like he'll be making brief occasional appearances or something like that.
So he might show up sometimes to the new character who I can't remember the name of right now and just be like, hey, good job, and then go back to work. Maybe. It's exciting. I imagine Leia will be in it as well. They didn't say she was going to be, but I can't imagine it's easy to have a show about the Resistance without General Organa.
Yeah, a friend and I were actually talking about that the other day, and we're trying to figure out if they're going to put her in there or not, because I know, like Lucasfilm said, that they are not going to attempt to recreate Carrie Fisher's performance or something like that. So I'm like, so does that mean no for animation or just for the films?
I mean, they have like in Battlefront and Forces of Destiny and Rebels, they had someone doing Leia, so maybe it would be an exception in Resistance. I don't know. She'll definitely be mentioned quite a bit.
I would totally be fine if they did that. It wouldn't bother me for them to do that, but I wonder if some fans would be upset by that. Like, I wouldn't think they would, but
yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm trying to think of other characters. I would like Jess Pava and Cara Kun to be in it.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
Well, how do you is her name pronounced Kare or how do you pronounce it? I always said
Care. It might be Kare. I don't know. Okay,
I don't know how you pronounce it, but I found out not long ago that her and Snap are married. I was like,
really?
Ooh.
I did not know that.
They have like this, I think, like romantic subplot going on in the background of the Poe comic. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I read I think it was the Join the Resistance books, and it fills you in that at some point when there was an off day at the Resistance base, they were like, "Hey, Poe, marry us," and he was like, "Okay," and that happened.
Oh, that's great.
But it was a secret thing because they didn't want Leia to know and Akbar, just because they felt like they had a lot of stuff on their hands to deal with, and they didn't want to complicate things. So they secretly got married, and Poe did the ceremony.
That's pretty cool. I'm trying to think who else I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to see Snap as well. We don't see much of him in Force Awakens. We don't see like any of him almost in.
I thought he died.
No, I think because they said like all the X-wing pilots that we don't see in Last Jedi, like Jess and Snap, they like got away. Yeah, I think.
And a friend got the novelization and was like, they survived, because we were all like about to go into mourning because we were like, Snap and Jess and everybody else, they all died. No, what happened? And then she was like, wait, they're like in the Outer Rim looking for allies, and apparently that's where Zay Mercio is too.
Zay. I hope, because in Battlefront 2 it said Zay and Shriv are going to find a specific ally, kind of. It seemed like Leia was sending them on to look for. I hope it's Lando. I love Lando.
That would be. And I don't know how long Togrutas live, but I have another wish for that too.
Billy D. Williams returning to Star Wars would be pretty great, because he was awesome as Lando in Rebels, so.
He basically has been going, hey, I want in, I want a part, and they're like, no. He's like, I want to come back. And they kind of won't let him, so I'm like, yeah, he needs a part somewhere.
Him and Daniel Logan, do you follow him on like Instagram or anything?
I have not yet, no.
Okay, because his Instagram is just like Star Wars memes and pictures of Boba Fett stuff. And I've met him before. He is so nice. He hugged me while I was wearing a big inflatable BB-8 costume, which was like the highlight of my life. He's so nice, and I really want him to.
Axel. That's Boba Fett.
I really want him to be Boba Fett again, because he's the right age for the role now, like to be an adult Boba Fett. So. Yeah.
He seems like he really enjoys being a part of that whole thing as with Star Wars and with Clone Wars and even the prequels, because a lot of the prequels actors like came off the prequels and were like, oh no, people hate those movies, let's go pretend like we never did that. But he doesn't.
Natalie Portman kind of did that little.
Yeah.
So Hayden Christensen just kind of disappeared off the grid for a while too.
Yeah, he just I think he bought a farm in Canada and was like, I'm gonna go farm now.
All right, peace out. Like, he did come for Celebration though, which is cool.
Yeah, that made me happy.
Ewan McGregor wants to do Obi-Wan again, which I'm all for. Because I know,
and I've heard that Liam Neeson said he would like to be Qui-Gon again.
Yeah. Well, I know. Wow. Brain train gone. What's I going to say? I know, like, for a lot of people, like, in the older generations of Star Wars fans, like, Alec Guinness is their Obi-Wan. But, like, to our generation, I think our Obi-Wan is Ewan McGregor. Like, when I think Obi-Wan, I picture either animated Obi-Wan with James Arnold Taylor doing the voice, or I picture Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, totally.
So.
And James Arnold Taylor's Obi-Wan sounds like Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, so.
Although, it's weird, when I picture Anakin, I picture Clone Wars Anakin more than I picture prequel Anakin.
The funny thing is, I grew up with prequels Anakin, and I just watched Clone Wars in the last couple years, and I kind of do that too. I tend to picture him as the way he is in Clone Wars. But I picture Obi-Wan as the way he is in Episode 3.
Yeah. So. Not that Hayden's Anakin is bad or anything. Hayden was an amazing job as Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I still remember the first time I saw Clone Wars. We saw it I think we saw it 7 times in theaters. Somewhere around that number. And I remember my dad, he would always miss, because me and my sister were little, and my dad would always miss the one scene where Ventress and like the battle droids and everything, he missed it every time we saw it in theaters, because Safi was afraid of Ventress and would have to go to the bathroom at the same time every time that part came up.
She's really creepy in that movie.
I fell in love with Ventress when I first saw her. I thought she was so cool. I mean, I fell in love with Ahsoka more, but Ventress was incredible. That movie, people always get, like, they're mean about, even people that like Clone Wars, they say the movie sucks, and I always get so defensive, because that's the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing for the first time.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing when it happened, because let me see, it came out in 2008, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's turning 10 this year.
I can't even remember what age I was. I got a math, and I don't want a math right now.
I was at turning 10.
I was at that point where I was just kind of oblivious. Are you all right?
No. That was 10 years ago. I mean, it makes sense. I'm 16. I'll be 17 in the fall when it came out, but I'm too young to feel this old. Sorry. Well, yeah, because one of my dad's first troops, he trooped for a little bit before he got me and my sister into it, and that one of his first troops was the toy release for Clone Wars. I remember I had this Ahsoka action figure, and I brought it everywhere, and I thought I lost it at school. I was so sad, and went out and bought a new one, and then I found it in my backpack, so I had two.
Yeah, I was kind of oblivious to Clone Wars when it first started. I was just all in the movies. And the thing is, like, the only reason I was in it was because my dad introduced it to me, and he just didn't really have any interest in the Clone Wars. I'm not even sure if he knew it existed. We were just, like, over there happily watching the prequels over and over and over. So, I didn't really know it was a thing. And then years later, I found out about it. I was like, oh, but it's animated, so it must not be real. And now I'm like, can I go back in time and smack myself? Because that's not how I feel about it anymore.
Yeah. So many of, like, my first memories somehow come back to Star Wars. One of my earliest, like, memories is, like, of all my memories is playing Lego Star Wars with my dad. And I was, like, very meticulous. I had to get every single coin and everything that dropped. I had to smash every smashable thing. And my dad just was like, come on, we just gotta finish the level. I'm like, but that block can be broken. I have to break it. I'm a destructive child, Father. Sorry. So, Lizzie has stuff to do, so I guess we can end it here if that's okay with everyone.
Good with me.
Okay, so I would like to. She's not here anymore, but I'd like to thank Vanessa Marshall again for being on the show. That was very awesome of her.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
And I want to thank Shay as well for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on. I love talking with y'all. And, like, I just, like, freaked out when I saw her name on the chat. I was like, what? So, yes, totally. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzie.
Thank